Hi friends, welcome back. I am super excited to share an entire week of meals with you for my family of 5. I'm going to be sharing how we continue our whole real foods journey. But let's be honest, I am not perfect. Plans change, things happen, things come up. Life is the real deal. I'm going to show you how I meal plan, grocery shop, and how I adjusted through the week as things did change. If you are doing your best to nourish your family, I want to commend you. You're doing an amazing job. Let's get into it. My meal planning has gotten significantly easier since I launched the Meals with Maria Plus app. I can just log in and shop my pantry, take a look around, see what I have, and search by the ingredients that I have. So in this case, I was able to put together a meal plan pretty quickly based off of what I already had in my pantry and what was on sale. Then with that meal plan, I can just go over to my grocery list, check off anything that I already do have in my pantry so I'm not buying extra. And then for me, I like to go over to Instacart. So through the week, I actually already loaded my cart with anything that I was out of or snacks or things that we needed. And then the meal plan just links directly to it. If you're not an Instacart fan, you can also just PDF it, or you can even just copy that grocery list and paste it into whatever area you may like Notes or Excel. But I personally love to use the Instacart option because in this case, like I have 3 kids, sometimes it's just difficult to get to the store. I don't mind spending the extra few dollars to have someone amazing do that for me, and then we have the groceries delivered to the house. So that's what I did on this occasion. I was able to go through super easy, switch out anything that I didn't need from that list on the Instacart app. It couldn't be simpler. And then I was able to get all my groceries and also print out our meal plan and all of the recipes. So out through the week, I was able to have all of the recipes in that meal plan in front of me, even though you'll see we didn't follow the meal plan perfectly. I love meal planning and I still can't stick to a meal plan. So if you're like that, you're like, I can't do it. It helps to have the meals available. Let me tell you, like it's nice to know what we can cook. When we're gonna cook it, not always my thing, and that's okay if that's you too. My kids have been getting really into what we're cooking lately. They love it when we get a grocery haul. They help bring in the groceries, take everything out, see what I got, and get excited about what we're having. So here is everything that I bought. So here's the printed meal plan. It's super basic, but it shows you exactly, if I can get in some, there we go. Shows you exactly what you're gonna have for breakfast and dinner each day. You can easily add lunches in here. And I'm gonna add a thing so that you can put like my own item that you can like add, And then it also really easily lets you print out all of your recipes so that you just have them in one spot, and it prints out everything for the whole week. So you can just put these in like a binder, a clipboard, keep them in the kitchen, and that way when it's dinner time and it's time to cook, everything is right in front of you in one spot, which is really cool. And I love that you don't have to go to each individual recipe in order to do that. You just print it all out for the week. So this was close to 300, which is more than usual. But it's the beginning of the month, and I did just do kind of like it wasn't a full pantry challenge, but it was pretty close. Like we got down to almost nothing, and I did a video with what I made for snacks during that, that I'll put in the description box and at the end of this video as well. Just to kind of show what we eat when we really have, it feels like there's nothing, but there is food. There's always food. So when I did that, I went through all my flour. I also had to buy baking soda because we were out of that. It's 99 cents, like not a big deal, but it does add up. We got some oranges. These were on sale, and I believe off the top of my head that oranges are a food that does not need to be organic. That's my memory. I could be wrong, but grab these on sale. We got some Granny Smith apples. I'm gonna make a pie for my dad's birthday. I try and buy the apples organic because those are one of the highest pesticides fruits. I was trying to get a coleslaw mix for the egg roll in a bowl, but they didn't have any apparently because I just ordered through Instacart. So she got me this cabbage. That'll be fine. Potatoes are generally not very good no matter what kind you get. So I just got the plain ones. We're gonna need this for our pinto bean soup. We were out of Quick Oats, so I grabbed some of those. There is a better brand that like is fully glyphosate free, like tested, but I can't find that at my local grocery store, so this is the one that I got. And
this is another thing that's kind of like a refill, so we wouldn't have to buy this in the future, or like we do eventually, but I don't usually buy this like on a regular basis. That was $5. I just got some raisins because I want to make some oatmeal cookies, and they're just a good snack for the kids. Got a couple of grass-fed cheddars. These are going to be for some of the meals that need cheddar cheese, like the Big Mac bowls and the bean bowls. A couple of these pepperonis. My kids love this pepperoni, and I also use it for pizza, which we're going to have one night, so grabbed a bunch of it. I was trying to get some organic chicken broth, chicken stock, bone broth, anything, literally anything organic. I really just wanted the bone broth, but for some reason the shopper could only find this kind of thing. I don't know. So that is the problem sometimes with Instacart. You're not going to get exactly what you want, but we can manage. So I got some diced tomatoes. I wanted the fire roasted, but apparently I didn't have those, so those are for our pinto bean soup. I needed some more peanut butter when we're looking for organic peanut butter. Glass is ideal, but I mean, everything's in plastic these days, so I mean, how much are we really cutting it down? So this ingredients is just the peanuts and sea salt. You want to look for ones that are the stir-free ones. Those ones are going to have added oils in them, so just watch out for that. Then I got some honey, and I'm not always going to need to buy this either. This doesn't, like, I don't buy that weekly. A couple of packages of eggs, and I wanted to get the 18 packs, but they were out. I know eggs used to be a budget food. They're expensive now. I mean, if I think about it, back when I used to do Aldi hauls, they were 60 cents for 12 of them, and they weren't the organic ones, but the organic ones were like $3. These are now $7, $6.99. So prices have changed quite a bit over the last few years, and we just have to find ways that we can make things affordable, is what I will show you this week in this meal plan. I got some grass-fed milk. This also probably lasts a couple weeks. I got 4 avocados. It is avocado season for us in the winter, so it's cheaper to buy avocados. And these are, my kids like avocado with their breakfast, so that's a great way to start the day. And I'll also put them in a salad this week. We're gonna have the caprese salad. I got some applesauces. My kids eat these with the kids are playing in the background. The kids eat these for their snacks at school. Some organic green beans. These were on sale, so I snagged them. I actually don't even know what I'm gonna use them with, but it's a great side. So we'll have them with one of our meals if we need to. I got basil. That's for the caprese salad. We got some grape tomatoes for the salad. I have to double check because I'm pretty sure I asked for 18 bananas, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bananas. So I might have to complain about that. So that's kind of annoying because we'll have to go to the store for bananas at some point this week, but I can go after the gym. It's not a big deal. Got fresh mozzarella. This is for our caprese salad. I got some of this Smash superfood spread. This is one of my favorite things that I've discovered. It is made with naturally sweetened with dates, I believe. Strawberries, dates, chia seeds, and lemon. My kids love it, and we even add it to yogurt to make a sweetened, quote, sweetened yogurt without added sugar, so that's awesome. I got a pound of grass-fed butter. I was surprised by like 90%, 95%. They started putting that on all the things. I think that was to be transparent. It has something to do with like the indoor time at which they do feed them a supplement because the grass isn't green outside. I'm not sure. I do need to look a little further into this as to why some are and some aren't. Chicken thighs. These are for tomorrow night for my dad's birthday. We also got some steak from a local butcher, and I'll be showing you how we cook the steak and the chicken tomorrow. This also added to the price of our meals this week, but the way I see it is when they have like a birthday or something, if we eat at home and have everybody over, it's actually cheaper than our family going out to eat, and I find that we get to use the leftovers and it's better. So I'll show you how much that steak costs when we cook it, and also just like we'll compare the prices, and I'll explain why we're doing that. I'm also going to cook some things that I already have, like some potatoes and cabbage, so that we don't have to spend a lot. And then this is for our caprese salad and our chicken, what is it? The chicken bowls. Now I'm thinking this isn't enough chicken, so I might have to get a little bit more, but maybe I can get that when I get the bananas. That's okay. We got 1 bag of popcorn. I also have popcorn that I've been popping on my own. and that is in my 10 things that I'm not buying anymore video and how I'm doing that. So that's also in my description box if you want to check that out, find out the things that I'm making versus buying. So technically I'm buying this popcorn, but I'm not buying like the bags of the movie theater popcorn. And yeah, I'll show you how to make that. And the Spaceballs, these are the cheddar ones. These are great, made with avocado oil. The kids like them. They're like cheese balls, so that's kind of, and they don't have red 40 in them, so it's kind of like instead of Cheetos, that kind of thing. They like those quite a bit. I got some spinach. That's for our breakfast biscuits. And I should have some left over, so that'll be perfect for smoothies and stuff. I went a little crazy on the chomplings. They had a sale that if you bought 4 of them, you got $5 off. And these are expensive, so I got a bunch of them. We have 24, which is great. This is what the kids will have with their snacks. So they'll have the applesauce and the chomps. They really enjoy that. You'll find that as I start doing these videos, they don't like to eat the same thing week after week for snack. So I'll try and switch it up, but I only try and pick like 2 things. That's what they bring every week for their snacks. And then I'll do something different next week. I got a bunch of yogurts. These are for my husband, Dan. He likes to bring them at lunchtime. 2 things of cottage cheese. These are just like for breakfast and a snack for the family. We like them. It's also good for cooking. And these other things of cottage cheese, again, Dan likes to bring these. So he'll bring like one of these and one of these and maybe a chomps and some other stuff for his lunches. And then we got some Greek yogurt. This is what I try and have the kids have as a snack. They'll have this with the Smash Superfoods, and they enjoy that quite a bit. They were psyched that that came in. And I'll show you also through the week everything else that we're making, buying, what we're eating that I kind of already have around the house to make snacks and stuff. And I'll show you our meals. It's early on Sunday and Ben is already starting his day with some bread with butter. This is some sourdough that I made a couple days ago. And he's having some of this Lesser Evil popcorn. I know, popcorn for breakfast, that's weird, but we just let it happen. Looks like he's gonna do an orange too. And yep, we got paper plates. That's the life we live right now. I do have my eye on some really cool looking ceramic ones on Amazon, but they're a little pricey. I just made some coffee. And I'm having a little piece of bread with butter too while I curl up and read some magazines. So we're having a very low-key breakfast on here this morning. Julian just had a couple of these and a banana. And Tommy is gonna have some apple cinnamon oatmeal. And Dan just took Ben out to go to Lowe's, and they're gonna grab something while they're out. I had grabbed these oats at Sierra. It's $5.99. They seem like a good option for Tommy, so we're gonna give them a try. This is our first time trying them. Sometimes I'd put an egg in here, but these are protein oats, so there's 10 grams per serving as it is. So I'm not gonna mess with it. I just wanna see, hopefully he likes them. And what am I gonna eat? I'm gonna eat this cottage cheese bowl. I really shouldn't be showing it to you like this because this is yucky looking, but I will show you a picture of what it looks like when you make it fresh, and it tastes delicious. It's a savory cottage cheese bowl that I absolutely love.
And then each week I've been making my own almond milk. So I soaked 1 cup of almonds in water overnight, and then I take those almonds out of that soaked water. So now they're soaked and they're kind of puffy, right? I put them into my NutriBullet with 5 cups of water. I have to do 2 sessions of this because my NutriBullet isn't big enough. But if you have a blender, that would work perfectly. I do not recommend a food processor. I've tried that and it went everywhere, so that was not a good solution. And so then once you do that, you just put it over. You can do like a really, really small strainer, or I just use, this is just a napkin, and pour that in, and that's going to basically make it drain out all those almond solids, and then you're going to be left with perfectly pure almond milk. And I also like to add a pinch of salt and a little bit of vanilla to mine. You can also actually just mix up some dates in with your almond milk if you'd like to make it sweet, but I feel like it doesn't even need that. It's so good. This has been like such a game changer as far as like how much money I spend. I think I mentioned this in my 10 things I'm not buying anymore video, but it really is amazing to be doing this, and it just saves tons of money, and we get to avoid the emulsifiers. So Julian's kind of become my smoothie king, and he was just watching a video about, what were you watching it about?
Smoothies?
Yep, and whose smoothie?
Tom Brady's.
Yep, so he's making a Tom Brady smoothie right now, and he's gotten pretty good at making them on his own. For a 7-year-old too. Pretty good. So, you gonna show us what you're gonna do?
I don't know if like the rest of the bag.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
We're just using the same container that we used to make the almond milk because it's just almond
milk anyway, and he's gonna use that in the smoothie, so it's fine. Yeah, he's got a banana in here. I'm gonna do a tablespoon of peanut butter. A few almonds, not too many. What did Tom Brady put in his? I forget.
What?
What did Tom Brady put in his?
Pumpkin seeds, maybe? I
Yeah, it
think
was pumpkin seeds, right?
Yeah. And cashews.
Yeah. Just gonna do like a tablespoon of chia seeds. You can always eye this.
I forget what these are called. Like the thing in here.
A scoop?
Yes.
A scoop of protein powder?
Mm-hmm.
Great. Are we ready to mix up the Tom Brady?
Mm-hmm.
So I do the actual NutriBullet part, but he said it should be purple. It's pretty purple. All right, give me a rating.
10 out of 10.
You love it?
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady was right.
Mm-hmm.
There was 3 of these pieces, and the boys each had one. So it's weekend lunchtime. Tommy's gonna have leftover burgers from last night. He's literally gonna do a triple burger because he loves beef. And we have some leftover French fries. Generally, I would try and make my own buns, but sometimes we don't get to it. So I've got the Dave's Killer Bread. And then Ben is having a air fryer tortilla pizza on a sourdough tortilla with our pepperoni. This is something we make a ton. The kids love it. I try to make them have like a fruit or vegetable with it, but I know it's not like super high in nutrients, but we get a little protein in, and the sourdough tortilla is really good as well. And if you want to know how to make sourdough tortillas, I do have that in my 10 things I'm not buying any more video down in the description box.
French fry spoon.
And Ben's also having some cottage cheese, right, Ben?
Yeah.
That's it.
And some pizza.
Yep, when the pizza's ready. What about me? Show yours. And Julian still has smoothie all over his face. And
Mine.
I've never pretended not to be, or pretend to be perfect. So we definitely, I'm gonna work on actually making some pizzas ahead of time to keep in the freezer, but I don't have them right now. I know, look at that burger. So we ordered pizza on Friday night, and this is leftover buffalo chicken calzone. So it is what it is. We try and keep it 80-20 around here as much as possible. To cook the air fryer tortilla pizzas, I cook them at 400 degrees for just 4 minutes, and it really doesn't take that long for them to be cooked perfectly in the air fryer. And for Dan, he's just gonna have leftover French fries. I just made these in the air fryer, and he's gonna have a burger wrap. Very simple. 2 pieces of burger, ketchup, mayo, cheese. Toasted it up in the air fryer for a little bit, and there we are. I'm just having a quick snack. I made these the other day, just a little carrots and hummus. Perfect. So my dad's coming over for his birthday, so we're having a little birthday dinner. I'm gonna make some red bliss mashed potatoes because I have leftover red potatoes. So I always just try and pick something if I already have it around, like why not? Like everyone loves mashed potatoes, so let's just do mashed potatoes. So I'm gonna boil the potatoes right now.
All right, so we're gonna make a bunch of stuff for my dad's dinner party tonight, and we got the dishwasher going in the background, things cooking on the stove, so there might be some background noise. There's kids here, but I'm just gonna show you what I'm gonna make and how we're doing a dinner party that like I think is like a good gift, right? To provide somebody a nice meal. And for us, last time we went out with the whole family, for someone's birthday, we had to pay for them too. It was over $200 for our family of 5 and the other person. So when I'm here and I'm spending more, right? I have $12.30 for this chicken. I used potatoes that I already had for those mashed potatoes. We're gonna do a German cabbage with apples and cabbage that I already had, so that's great. We're gonna bake an apple pie. That was an inexpensive choice. I'm gonna have to use butter and some apples, but I already have my flour that I just had to get. And then we're also going to do some cupcakes because the kids, they also want cupcakes. I already had this on hand, so we're gonna use this to bake some cupcakes and make up a quick frosting so they can put sprinkles all over them and eat them happily. Oh yes, I almost forgot the expensive part of the dish. So this chicken, yeah, that's not gonna feed everybody. Again, we try our best, but this is the buffalo chicken dip from the butcher. It's delicious, so a little special treat. Julian likes that. Then we have ourselves 3 strip steaks for $109. I didn't know it was that expensive. We're gonna be coming in close to that $200 mark. But our food is gonna be much better. And we'll likely have leftovers. We're feeding 7 of us tonight with the steak and the chicken. And we'll probably have some leftovers for lunch tomorrow. So I think it's a win. After eating those carrots, I still felt hungry, so I grabbed a meat stick to get some protein with it, because protein should fill me up. This was left over from before. So I haven't exactly figured out the perfect steak rub that's gonna fall into all the categories that I'm looking for real food meals. But I do have this coffee rub from Traeger that is absolutely delicious and we love it. So we're gonna keep using it. Also, this steak is not organic. This is from our local butcher, but steak is one of the better things, or just ground beef in general, if you're not gonna be shopping organic for it, because it is grass-fed 80% of its life. So they have not figured out a way to get cows to live and produce without grass feeding them 80% of their life. So they don't go to the feedlots until much later, which is really nice. So something to consider if you're, trying to cut back, do organic chicken and maybe not organic beef, and you can feel good about that. I generally do try and do grass-fed beef, but they don't have that at the butcher, and these strip steaks are absolutely heavenly as they are. So we're just gonna let that sit out and warm up on the counter, because I don't want our meat to be cold when we start to put it on the grill. And then for the chicken thighs, I'm just gonna place them in a bag. You could always do a bowl and do your favorite seasoning. We actually have the marinade seasoning from the butcher that we like. It's the steakhouse blend that they have. If you're local to the area, Tuckaway Tavern is what I'm talking about. They have the best marinade and the best steak, some of it. We also like Prime Butcher in Hampstead. You may have heard of Tuckaway Tavern because it's been on diners, drive-ins, and dives a few times. And the chef Bobby, I think it's Bobby, has also been on like Guy's Grocery Games, and I think he was in the Tournament of Champions. He's well known on the Food Network, and he's a local guy to New Hampshire where I live, and we're close enough that we can get the steak and the seasonings from them. But I love that I can buy the seasoning, put that on, and still use organic chicken. So I just eyeball this, mix it up with some olive oil, put the chicken in the fridge. I would have liked to have done that earlier, but I actually just forgot, so life happens. All right, I'm gonna make the muffins. We're just gonna follow the package instructions for this. The box says to use 1/3 cup of oil. If I had avocado oil, I'd probably use it, but I don't, and I just have olive oil, which is not gonna work, so I'm just gonna use butter. Could probably use ghee for this too. Just to pour it evenly, so I kind of hate that. Like, what do I expect? Half, 3/4? If I make some fuller, is that gonna be a problem? Seems like it. Seems like that might be a problem. All right, so it's 15 to 20 minutes.
And now I'll make the pie crust.
All right, 2 cups of flour. Actually, 2.5 cups. Do a teaspoon of salt. I'm just gonna give this a few pulses. And that's literally just to get the salt mixed in. I've got a cup of butter in cubes. We're just gonna kind of scatter it around here. And you want the butter to be as cold as can be. So try not to handle it too much. You want the butter evenly distributed. And what you'll find is that if you smush it like this, it actually creates this paste. So we're actually pretty close on what we should be doing here. It's all looking pretty powdery and pretty good. So I'm slowly gonna add ice water. I'm gonna do 2 tablespoons. We're gonna get to 6 to 8. See how it comes together.
Once the dough comes together, basically thick enough that you can kind of form it into a ball, and yes, that was my husband air guitaring, you want to remove it from the food processor, and we're going to make it into a ball. And then at this point, my cupcakes were ready too, so I put those out to cool and started putting some flour down on my baking mat and forming the dough into that ball.
So you want to roll the dough into a ball or a log. I did a log because that just seemed right to me. But we do need, technically, a circle. We're gonna try to keep it together. Mine is a little cracky. We're gonna put a little bit of ice water on it, and that will help it keep it together a little bit, so it's a little bit, that's much better. Yeah, you can come over. Julian wants to come join. We don't want to add too much flour to this, but we do need a little bit. We don't want it to stick to the...
Do I have the steak for dinner?
Now we're making chicken too.
Oh, yeah.
Yay! It came together really well. Oops. Well, that actually works. So a cool way to move a pie crust is to roll it up over this and then move it. So that's what I'm gonna do. Drag it over here onto our pie.
Wrap it around the edges, right?
Well, kind of. So we're gonna put the apple pie in here, and then we'll have a second
For the crisscross.
top. Yep. I'm gonna cut the apples, and then I'm just gonna put this in the fridge real quick while I cut the apples. So you see, just peel and slice 4 or 5 apples. I have 5 Granny Smiths, but I've done apple pie with any type of apple. And then to those apples, I just added a 1/4 cup of coconut sugar, a teaspoon of cornstarch, and a teaspoon of cinnamon. And then just mix that together and set those aside. And then I pulled out the rest of the dough and rolled that out the same way that I did with that first dough. And in this case, we are going to make a lattice crust, which is like that crisscross pattern, because my 9-year-old loves it. And in order to do that, one thing is you definitely want to remove that crust from that baking, like the baking mat, if you have a silicone baking mat, because I have used a knife on that before, and that is such a disaster. It cuts right through the silicone baking mat, so you don't want to do that. So I put mine on a cutting board, and then you just cut strips, plain strips, all the way down, all the way across. Then you add it to the pie, and this was so fun because the kids wanted to get involved in it. And you just do every other, so you layer them up, over, under, and you kind of do it opposite when they're next to each other, so that it's over one and then under the other, and go all the way down the pie. And then at the end, I just use my fingers to crimp the edges. And if you have any spaces that like need extra, you'll usually end up with a couple of pieces of pie crust left, because the lattice pie crust is going to basically, it's not like a full coverage pie cover. So there'll be some extra, and that's perfect to kind of add in there if you need a little bit extra on those pie crust edges. And then to bake the pie, I scrambled up 1 egg to make an egg wash. And then I used a brush to put an egg wash over the pie, because that will just really make the top of it shine a little bit. You can also sprinkle a little sugar on there. I forgot to in this case, but it's an option and it makes it look really pretty. And then I don't have like one of those special pie edge cover things. I can't even think of what it's called. I just used a little tin foil around the edges, and that just makes sure that the edge of the pie doesn't burn. I'm gonna bake this at 400 degrees for 20 minutes. Then I'll take the shield off and we'll bake it at 375 for another 30 to 35 minutes. And I am gonna put a tray below this so it doesn't get stuck on the bottom of the oven. Sometimes an apple pie like this may spill over. All right, I'm going rogue. I still have a few things left in my cabinets from trying to clean out the non-real food. This is in there, and I'm running short on time, so I'm gonna have JJ frost the cupcakes and put on the sprinkles. I am gonna have him use the dye-free sprinkles to save these guys for an emergency. But we're gonna use the vanilla frosting because that is life. And so this is a lesson for you too. Like if you're trying to clean everything out, like just take your time and clean it out and let some things stay, and then they'll be the right time to use them. Or maybe they'll eventually expire, or you can give them to the food bank, that's fine too. But I've just been slowly going through mine to the point where I just don't have the items that are basically fake food anymore as much. So I have a few things. This is one of them. We're gonna use it because we're on a time crunch. Hopefully in the future I'll have something that's a little bit more food friendly. I bought this package of doilies at Dollar Tree, I think, a while back, and they're really nice to have because you can take a cake stand and just put the doily on top, and it looks even fancier. So once you put those on there. I did grab these sprinkles at Whole Foods, and I love them because, yeah, they're dye-free, or they're plant-based or whatever. They don't have the chemicals in them, so the kids are gonna like to put that on there. It's fun. All right, looks like my cabbage was not good, so luckily I have some green beans, and we'll put those up. Look at what a good job the kids did for frosting these. Grandpa's gonna be so impressed. Really? He's gonna have the apple pie. We got ice cream too, but.
What do you mean the kids?
The kids!
What do you mean the kid frosting it? There's only one kid frosting it, and that was me.
And who else did it? Benji did.
Benji did? Oh, yeah. Only one.
Yeah. And we're gonna make some buffalo chicken dip. I showed that to you earlier.
And then we've got these Tostitos because I forgot to grab chips at the grocery store. And unfortunately where we live, it's like 20 minutes to the grocery store. And the gas stations do not carry avocado chips. So that's kind of a frustrating thing too. You kind of want to make sure you have a backup. So I screwed up there. This is all learning. We're gonna give each other, I'm gonna give myself grace at least, and we'll try our best. But yeah, so we've got a 1/4 cup of butter because we're going through butter like it's going out of style around here. And I'm just gonna mash this until the butter's all mixed in, and then we're gonna add about a cup of milk and then just salt and pepper to taste. So it's a very simple recipe. If you ever are making mashed potatoes and you feel like the flavor's not right, it's usually salt. Potatoes just soak up salt like crazy. So far I did about 2 teaspoons of salt. And if you can believe it, I just at this point, I had everything like prepped and the mashed potatoes were done. These are great because you can kind of reheat them on the stove. Anyway, I didn't get any final videos of this dinner for my dad. This is the last view you have of the pie, but it was delicious. And you'll see the leftovers because we eat those the next night. And you'll find all the recipes, the pie recipe, the potato recipe, the green bean recipe in my app. Good morning, Monday morning. Starting our day with a little iced coffee. Some fresh almond milk from yesterday. Looks so good. So the boys are gonna mix this up, but we kind of do yogurt almost like fruit on the bottom kind of thing where they get to mix it. And then I use this smashed superfoods. The only thing about this is it's not organic, but it does have no like added sugars. It has strawberries, chia seed, dates, and lemon. It's really good. It's naturally sweetened. And then I use this Greek yogurt, grass-fed. But my stepmom was talking to me last night, and she's like, you should just make your own yogurt. And she gave me an awesome recipe. So I think we're gonna be making our own yogurt because this is $9.99 for a package and like half gone just from 2 breakfasts. But she said you can make like a gallon from a gallon of milk, which is a gallon of grass-fed milk is only like $6. So I could make way more yogurt at home. So I think I'm gonna do that.
May I put some yogurt in some with some jelly in it?
Oh yeah, can you show us?
Right over here.
Yep, here, come to your seat and show me how you mix it up. All right, take a big bite. You ready for a bite?
Yeah.
That's a big bite. You like it?
Chunky monkey.
Yes. So Ben decided to have half a slice of sourdough bread with butter. I told him he could have more if he eats all his yogurt too. And then Tommy just wanted to have some sourdough with butter and an orange, and I'd like him to have chomps too, just to get some protein in there this morning. It's not as much protein as I'd like, but they're kids and sometimes it's hard to get it all in there. Oh, it looks like JJ's grabbed an orange too. Right, Jay?
Mm-hmm. So are you alive?
All right, we have leftover pizza. Yeah, Tommy says he will eat this for lunch. No, he's fine. JJ's gonna eat lunch from the school lunch menu today, which is some nachos. I let them buy lunch twice a week. But I made this for Benny for lunch yesterday. He didn't eat any of it. So we put it in the fridge and now Tommy's gonna have it for lunch. So it all works out. Here, Ben wants an orange, so he's gonna have that too. So this is Tommy's lunch. He's gonna have an orange and some Spaceballs with that. And then for snack, he's got an applesauce and a chomps. So I'm gonna eat these high protein breakfast biscuits once I make them. I'm gonna have one, but I'm really hungry right now, so I'm just gonna have half of a sourdough slice with some butter. All right, for these high protein egg biscuits, I'm just gonna start by taking this entire package of frozen spinach and microwaving it. All right, it's Monday morning and I didn't get to meal prep yesterday because I was getting ready for my dad's birthday party. So we're gonna make the breakfast biscuits this morning. It really doesn't take too much time, so it shouldn't be too bad. So even if you're, trying to get to that before you get to work or something, you could totally do it. You just have to make it a priority. You always have time for the things that you care about. So I just sliced up an onion. We're going to cook this down. I'll do a little salt and pepper. Ben's having an applesauce. I usually like to save these for school, but right now he's sometimes I save my sanity for other times, so he's gonna have this. So I heated up the spinach and I'm gonna add about 1.5 cups to this.
Honestly, this whole thing is fine. You never have too much spinach, right? And I chopped a clove of garlic. I already had garlic, so I didn't have to buy it this week. That was nice. Onions too, I had. Next week I will have to buy some onions. I already have that on my list. Already entered it into my Instacart shopping list so that next week when I update everything in my meal plan, I will have the things that I need to restock on as well. And I went through and looked at the flyer real quick. You don't have to do this, but it does help to look at the sales. So I picked a few things that were on sale so that when I do go through the app, I'm gonna search specifically for, they have some grass-fed chuck beef on sale. They have some grass-fed steak and some grass-fed beef. So a few things that I know I have recipes for, so I can just search those in the app and I can have those next week as meals. This smells phenomenal. Just want to eat this. I think we should add some, next time I might do mushrooms in these too. I feel like mushrooms would be so good in this. All right, we're starting with 7 eggs, scrambling those up. We're gonna mix in the almond flour now, okay? So we need about, 2 cups of almond flour.
Mama, can I do that first?
Yeah.
Can
This
I do
should
that?
be about 2 cups that's left. If it's not quite, that's not a huge deal. Here you go, buddy. You gonna put that in?
Yeah.
Put it in.
Maybe 2 cups?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 2 cups.
Yeah, we'll just put it all in there. It's fine.
Okay. Out in there.
Very good job.
Oh, there's a little bit left.
Got it all. Nice work.
I want to mix it.
Go ahead and mix it. Yeah, that's a great idea.
It's not so hard. Mama, it's not so hard, Mama. It's not so hard. Mama.
Yeah, I know. It's not too bad, right?
Yeah. Look, I bet it's going to taste good.
Oh, I think so too. 6/8 of a teaspoon. Almost a teaspoon of baking powder. Mix it all in. Add this in too, okay?
What is?
Oh, look at that. We're gonna add all of our spinach. Hold it with your hand because you're pulling it.
It's hard now, Mama.
Yep.
It's hard.
A little more salt, pepper, right? Keep mixing, buddy. We don't want the eggs to cook. Here, put your hands out. There you go. Put it in. So we need about 1.5 cups of shredded cheddar. I just shredded this up myself. Cheddar. And we gotta make the biscuits now, okay? This is a mama job, okay? I'm gonna scoot you over. You can still hang out with us. You can still hang out with me, right? I just need to do the biscuits. Do the 1/4 cup measure, but like heaping. And try and make them as even as possible. I think I'm gonna end up with a little extra this time, which is interesting because usually these make 8, but we might be able to make 9 or 10. Maybe because I put a little extra almond flour in there and some more spinach. So maybe we go wild with the spinach every time. Right, Benj?
Yeah.
High protein breakfast biscuits. And we're gonna cover them with a little bit of cheddar cheese.
Can I do the rest, Baba?
Oh, sure. Here. Don't put all of it on one. Put a little bit on one and a little bit on another. Woo, we're doing it together. We're doing it together. Very good job, Benj.
And so the biscuits are ready now.
We have to put them in the oven.
Oh, let's go to put it in the oven.
And we're gonna cook them at 375 degrees.
And where the center is going to be water.
Thanks, little helper. Say hi.
Hi. A pillow bowing.
I was like, he's like, what type of meat stick is that? I'm like, that's a Paleo Valley meat stick. We got those on 30 for 30. If you ever see that deal, snag it. That's such a good deal. They're really delicious meat sticks. But they're not always on sale, but 30 for 30 is really great. Also, we're gonna get our starters started this morning because I want to make some bagels.
I help you make that too.
Okay. This is the first time I'm making bagels, so we can do it together and hopefully it turns out good. I like to do about 100, ooh, that's too much. 113 grams of starter. On the app, there is a starter recipe to get started with your own starter. And then in my Amazon store, you can also buy like a starter kit. This one?
Yeah.
I don't know, I'll have to make something with the starter, but the cool thing about this starter is I still have a bunch in here. I'm just gonna put this back in the fridge for now, and if I wanna use the starter for something, I can, but I don't have to. I can keep it in the fridge for a little bit. As long as it doesn't go moldy, we're good. What was I saying about the starter? So, I recommend it. It's amazing. It helps with like glucose spikes. So when you have sourdough bread, it's better for you than regular bread. It reduces your glucose spikes because it has fermentation in it. So just generally, it's good for your body. I'm gonna clear this out. I don't recommend trying to make sourdough without a scale. I'll say that a million times. They're cheap though, again, in my Amazon store, you can get one. And it's honestly become very fun. I get it, it's a little intimidating at first. My biggest tip, that again, I'll share a million times, is it just takes patience and it just takes time. Like if it doesn't look like it's doubled, it probably hasn't. And if it's cold in your house, it's gonna take longer. It might take double the amount of time. I'm gonna take mine and put it on top of the warm oven so that, because I'm just cooking those biscuits, the timing is just right. It doesn't really matter, like I'm doing 115 grams. I'm doing mine equal parts. There's different ways that you can do it. You can do 1 to 2 or 1 to 3. There's all different ratios, and I'll try and find there's probably a website that has the ratios on it, and I'll put that in the description box too so that you guys can see it. So now I need 115 grams of water, and I'm gonna do warm water, again, because I have a very cold house right now. That will change soon as the sun comes out. Wow. I like to use the back of a wooden spoon to stir this. You could use the front, it's easier for me to use the back. I've used a metal spoon before and the bottom of my jar broke, so I don't know if that had something to do with the jar or the spoon, but now I'm afraid to use a metal spoon, so just in case, just so you know, I avoid metal spoons because of that. I don't know why, I just like to use this headband that I got at the Dollar Tree. You can use an elastic or a rubber band, and that way I can tell where it all started. You can also eyeball it. You can tell when it's doubled. Like I said, be patient. You will know. It will be obvious. So we're just going on the warm oven. I'm gonna put a cover on it. And hopefully in the next 12 hours it should double.
Ooh, look at these. These look good. Oh yeah, they look so good. I am so psyched.
If you can believe it.
Chomp.
I don't know where he gets the space.
Chomp.
He's having another slice of bread with butter.
Chomp.
We are heading out. I'm gonna go to the gym and then drop Ben off at school. So I packed him a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for lunch. I don't even know, is this enough for the never-ending pit that is his stomach? I'm gonna grab one of these chomps for myself after my workout, and then I'm probably just when I come home, I'm gonna make these, I think they're like, are they Fiesta black bean salads? They're delicious. So I'm gonna make that and then make a couple of them so I have one for lunch tomorrow too. All right, I actually have an appointment, so I'm not gonna be able to make those black bean bowls today. Maybe later today I will, but right now I'm just gonna have one more of these breakfast biscuits and a couple of these dates with peanut butter that I made last week. Kids are fighting, but I did grab some more bananas at the store for $3.16.
This one.
Yeah, I know, that's a lot of pepperoni.
Yeah.
So we have lots of leftovers from last night. We're gonna have those for dinner, but there's not quite enough for everybody. So more tortilla pizzas, because that's what we do around here. And Ben is very actively putting on a lot of pepperoni, right, Ben?
Yeah.
All right, we'll see if we keep all that on there. All right, Ben made what he's calling a daddy pizza because it has a beard. That's so funny. All right, so we're doing, this is like crazy leftovers combined with other things, but so I've got the steak from last night, which I didn't get a good shot of, but we had delicious grilled steak, and I made those red bliss mashed potatoes. And then we're gonna do an avocado caprese salad later in the week, but I had the tomatoes and the cheese and I couldn't help myself, so I made myself a little caprese salad. The kids are gonna have the sourdough tortillas, air fried pizzas with the grass-fed pepperoni. And then just, when they like salad, they literally like lettuce. So it's lettuce, and then I've got in this case I'm using this Primal Kitchen ranch that I need to wipe off, but I do keep this around. I ideally want to make my own dressing because it's pretty expensive, but it definitely helps in a pinch. Julian's having the last of that calzone. And Benny made a pizza that looks like Daddy. You saw that. So I'm going to try and get him to eat some carrots because he doesn't usually like vegetables. And Dana's just having steak and potatoes because that's what men... We're going to get started on the dough for the bagels. So we're doing 100 grams of active starter, which I have here. 40 grams of honey. 10 grams of salt. 225 grams of water. So I just want to mix this until it's well incorporated, and then we're going to add in bread flour. 500 grams of bread flour. And then you just want to mix everything well by hand until a shaggy dough forms. And then we're going to put it in the mixer with the dough hook and mix it for 6 to 7 minutes until you get that kind of tight ball. So it's been a little over 6 minutes. Looks pretty good. All right, we're going to need to let this, to cover this and let it sit overnight. But I do know that half the bagels, they want to be plain, and half of them, they want to be cinnamon raisin. So I'm going to take half the dough, and I want about a teaspoon of cinnamon and a little more than a 1/4 cup of raisins. For the whole thing, you do 3/4 of a cup and 2 teaspoons, so that's why. So we're just going to hand knead these raisins into this dough, and it's a little thick. That is okay. All right, I feel good about it. As good as I'm gonna feel. I'm gonna cover this, and I'm gonna cover this one, and we'll let them sit till the morning. So because I have so much starter, and it's already mature and ready, I'm just gonna make some regular sourdough too, because Ben seems to be eating it like crazy. I'm gonna spare you the entire process of the sourdough, as I've shown that on my channel before, and I'll link that video below. All right, looking at these, this is the morning, and I feel like this is what I mean about patience. Like, they're kind of bigger, but they're supposed to double, and we're not quite there. Even this dough here for the bread. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go out this morning, and around noontime when I get back, I'm probably gonna do it. So sometimes you just have to wait. All right, Julian's got breakfast here. He's doing yogurt again and a orange. Really gotta start making yogurt because this is expensive. Tommy is again having some sourdough with butter, an orange, and a chomps. I wish he would eat a hard-boiled egg, but he doesn't like that. I am super grateful for these. And my husband has been volunteering the last few days at the Special Olympics. So he's been eating breakfast and lunch there. And Benji here is gonna do some sourdough bread with an orange and cottage cheese. Just pack it up Tommy's lunch. It's gonna be a little bit of a mishmash today because we don't have anything specific, but we're gonna do some lesser evil cheese balls, applesauce, chomps, orange. I've got some maple syrup in here and some mini pancakes and a banana. I always try and make minis when I make pancakes for leftovers because these are great to send to the kids' lunch. And then, well, we'll see. And then he says he doesn't want them, but we'll talk about it. I did grab him some of these, which I don't normally put in, but we usually keep these around. They don't eat them every day. They're not a snack. These are a dessert, but he's having a tough morning, so I want him to have something special at school. All right, he changed his mind. He's gonna have hot dogs, so I heated them up, and I'm gonna cut them up and put them in his bag with some ketchup. These ones from Aldi are such a great deal. They're like less than $5, and they are 100% grass-fed organic. Still haven't made those bean bowls, but we're just gonna have leftover chicken, green beans, and mashed potatoes for lunch because try and get through those leftovers, and this is something that I enjoy. Here's another snack added again with the chomps and the carrot. I feel like I didn't get that other when I did these on video, but I broke them into 4 pieces and I stuck my thumb through them, and then I kind of like this around with them, and so they turned into bagels. And then Now we're gonna boil them because they are doubled in size. All right, so we need to boil this water with about, I don't know, a tablespoon of sugar. I'm gonna use coconut sugar. So it should dissolve in here. It may give it a brown tinge, but that'll be okay because it's natural. So it's after school. Julian wanted to have a smoothie. The cool thing is he's gotten so good at making them that if we don't have something, like we ran out of blueberries, I usually just add the milk to where I feel like it needs to go, almond milk. He can just kind of like wing it and add things that he knows is going to taste good in it, which is really cool. So what did you do with this one, bud?
So I added mango, cauliflower, and chia seeds, and the.
Oh, we used like some green stuff from, I think that was Bellway, like a greens powder and almond milk. All right, we got our boiling water. We're gonna add 4 bagels. We're gonna do 2 minutes on each side because they float. How cool is that? Just realized I'm like, I should have done the cinnamon raisins second. Well,
You should have done what?
cinnamon raisins second, but that's okay. I need to get like a metal mesh because the plastic, but this is all things of like, you know, noticing chemicals and being like, I don't want to live like that. It just takes time.
Mom, please let me have a piece of mango.
Oh, that's nice. So they're done boiling. 20 minutes? Yeah, probably. Is that what you asked?
No, I said 2 minutes.
Oh no, they have to take longer than that. All right, they're going in the oven at 425 degrees for 25 minutes. It's actually just 20 minutes, but these are golden. I mean, they're looking like something you'd get at the store, but better. Sourdough, homemade. So psyched. Just cut these open. They are literally perfect. So excited. All right, getting dinner started. I'm just making up some brown rice according to package instructions. I've got my recipe right here. I have so many peppers, so I'm gonna do 3.5, even though the recipe says 3. You can always be generous with certain things. Like you're not gonna have too many peppers. Just gonna cut these into thin strips. I'm gonna put this all in the pan at once, so it's not a big deal if I cut it on the same cutting board because it's all gonna get cooked together. I'm gonna keep it separate, but you know, within reason. So we're just gonna slice our chicken into bite-sized pieces. It's okay if they're a little bit bigger. I know my kids are gonna definitely want smaller pieces of chicken. We're gonna do a drizzle of olive oil in here and then put all the peppers. Heat this up nicely. And the chicken. We're gonna give this a generous salting and peppering. So this is a fresh, creamy peanut butter that is not no stir. So you can see how it has oils on it, and that's okay. That's part of what the peanut butter should look like. So you need about 1/2 cup of peanut butter. Maybe that's a little more. The only problem with this is it gets everywhere, but we can lick that off because it's so good. Also need 1/2 cup of soy sauce, cup of water, but I'm gonna add that in last as I kind of get everything mixed because the water dilutes things. We don't want a super thick sauce, but we also don't want it to be clumpy. So it helps to just mix in the peanut butter to the soy sauce, which is an intoxicating combination. 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar. Rice vinegar is so delicious. 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, and you can always use fresh garlic in this too, but I'm going the easy route tonight. I sprayed this with just like this Primal Kitchen air fryer oil. Has a little seasoning on it, but that's okay. That really helps when you're using honey. So I'm just gonna pour my honey here, and you can see that it'll slip right out. This is an amazing tip. Honey, peanut butter, soy sauce, rice vinegar. I mean, kidding me? That is heaven. That's why this meal is so delicious. So we're using really great whole foods. We're using some brown rice, chicken, and peppers. And then we're just gonna make it even better by adding this delicious sauce to it, and it really makes it incredible. You'll see how without the water, this is quite thick. Again, I don't want it to be lumpy, so I'm gonna mix this really well before we add that water in. What I love about it is you don't have to cook it, so we're just gonna pour it over everything while it's hot. It's gonna be so delicious. This is a really simple and delicious dinner. Like, this chicken is almost cooked. The peppers cook right with it. Lots of flavor. We're gonna pour that sauce over with the rice, and that is it. That is all she wrote. All right, so there's a bunch of rice left, and this is actually gonna be perfect. We got our days a little messed up here, but this is gonna be perfect for when we do the egg roll bowls. And then there's one dinner or lunch worth of the chicken left, which is perfect for Dan for lunch tomorrow. And I ended up with a bunch of extra sauce, which is a cool thing about this recipe. If you, like, the kids don't really like the sauce, so they didn't get as much as Dan and I did, but if you're serving multiple adults, or you want like leftovers, this is the right amount for the recipe. Anyway, I have extra, so because it's not on the recipe, I can actually just pour it into this mason jar and keep it for a little bit at least, you know, probably 7 days, but that's just a little bit of goodness that, I mean, we love peanut sauce, so who knows what we could put that on. And you know what, if it doesn't get eaten, it doesn't get eaten, but I'd rather save it and potentially have it on something. All right, bagel mania up in here. JJ's having one like this. Tommy's having one like this. Ben is having a half with jelly on it. We're gonna get some fruit. And even I am gonna have a bagel too. JJ is gonna come after he gets dressed and put this in his lunchbox, but this is gonna be his lunch. Just a mishmash of things, and finally those pancakes from yesterday. And Tommy's gonna have lunch at school today. And he's having another bagel with cream cheese. This is, how many has he had so far? I think 2 bagels.
2
right?
bagels?
2 bagels.
Me, 3 bagels.
Oh my gosh.
I have 1, 2, 3, and how about 4?
All right, how about 4? 4 halves, which equals 2 wholes.
Is it Daddy?
And I am baking my sourdough now. Like I said, I'll put a sourdough recipe, or I'm gonna link the video where I share my sourdough recipe in the end of this video. I have not yet perfected a cinnamon raisin, so I'm glad I didn't share this. I love the way this bread turned out. Like, it's so, use the M word, moist. But like, I didn't get the swirl on the whole thing, and then the bottom ends up crunchy, so we're gonna keep working on this. This is a work in progress. So I've been munching on it because it still tastes really good. I want the swirls to go all the way through, so we'll get there. And then the other loaf is cooking too. So for the other one, I just made a regular one. You know, I don't know, not my favorite loaf. That's the thing about sourdough. It's so funny. Like, you have these ones that you're like, oh, it's so good. Other ones you're like, oh, I don't really like the way it looks. But then I might cut this open and be like, this is the most delicious, like, bouncy loaf ever. So, such is life. All right, Benji's gonna have some yogurt with some of that smashed jelly. And this is pretty much his lunch. He's been kind of snacking all morning, as you can see. So that's what he's gonna have. So here's a little bit of real life for you. I ended up going to the grocery store because I needed more butter. The kids were eating so much bread. And then Ben wanted some cheese sticks, which I'll let him get something just to kind of keep him busy, right? I checked out the clearance section, and then of course I found this organic popcorn that I've been looking for and these chips on sale. So I ended up grabbing a few more things than I initially intended. It was still good. Here's Benny's school snack today. So you ever go to the grocery store for, you know, one thing and then come back with $80 worth of food? Well, here we are. And so I want to let you know that if you're a person who's like, I just can't, I shop once a week, but then I have to go back to the store. Like, sometimes I go back 3 or 4 times realistically. And that's not a knock on the meal plan or anything. It's just having 3 kids and unexpected things happening, right? But I'll tell you this, it's Thursday. I'll shop again on Sunday, but this is also going to supplement that pretty heavily. And we also have 4 out of the 7 meals I plan on having this week that we haven't had yet. So if it's Thursday, we have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, that's 3. And then Sunday is our 4th. So we'll be able to make it quite a while without having to purchase new meals. So that rolls over too. So that's helpful. All right, what did I get? I snagged these because I have been looking for bags of the organic lesser evil, either popcorn or the little cheese balls, because the kids like to take these as snacks for school. I've been just giving them an applesauce and a Chomps meat stick, which is also great, but they like these bags, and I'm always good with having the single serve packages for school only. So that's kind of my thing. Like, they know it's in a separate spot. That's where their school stuff goes. We were also just like running low on chips, which again, not like super high on the nutrition value, but the kids do snack on them. So I'll put these in clear containers in the cabinet. That way we can see how many there are and they can serve themselves. And that way they're not going into the more expensive bags. These were also on a crazy sale. So I snagged them. Maybe I should have snagged more, but I still have until Sunday if I want to go back. Again, the Medjool dates were also on sale this week. And I have just been craving those dates with peanut butter and chocolate in them since I ran out of them the other day. So they're coming back, or I'm going to make a brownie. I've been thinking about that. I grabbed these oranges because they did go through that entire package of oranges that I bought on Sunday. And they were $1.39, and oranges, like I said, are great. They're not something that you have to buy organic. And they're like, I think these are called like the sumo oranges or something. They're a little funky looking, so hopefully the kids will still eat them, but they look good. I have some cheese sticks. These are because Ben picks out a snack usually when we go to the grocery store. And this is the one thing that he wanted to get. And we fought. I'm not real, I fought with my 3-year-old over the fact that he wanted to get the Paw Patrol ones. And I was like, we're not getting the Paw Patrol ones. So, like, that happens at the store. Like, we're going to get the organic ones. It is what it is. Pasture raised. It's important to me. There are times I give in, and it's totally fine. But I'm just saying, it's not like my kids just listen to everything I say, because they certainly do not. I grabbed these organic blueberries and mango chunks because smoothies are such a big deal in our house as far as getting the kids in some really high nutrient things. And I love that they eat cauliflower in it too. Because you'll notice the meals that we're having, like, they don't eat a ton of vegetables. They don't love them that much. And, you know, we pick our battles. So this is something I can get. And these were really cheap. These were, I think, less than $4 each. And I know that I may not be ordering from Market Basket this weekend. So I want to make sure I got that good deal while I was there. This is a lot about just being a real human being. I took out 2 packages of the ground chicken from the freezer, and we ended up going out last night. We went to Texas Roadhouse, like real life. Again, we're not perfect all the time. I'm aiming for 80-20 here. The kids wanted to go. I wish we didn't go because it wasn't that good. But anyway, they had a nice time. And I didn't get to the 2 packages of chicken, so that was $4 that I purchased the chicken for that now is going to go in the trash. So, you know, if you don't get to something, just know you're not alone. So I need ground beef for our Big Mac bowls. I'd rather have that than chicken. And then ground chicken for the egg roll bowls. And then I got the chicken thighs so that we can make the tomato mozzarella avocado salad, because avocados are ready for that. I was kind of waiting until they're ready. And that's the one thing I forgot during my first trip. Also, bananas. These were on clearance. I was able to snag these. The kids eat these so fast. Like, they went through the other bananas. They're almost gone. And some of them are getting brown, so I'm just going to put them in the freezer for smoothies. And then I also grabbed this 20-pack of applesauce because it's $11.99 there, and it's something that I tried to get on Instacart last week, and they only had like the 12-pack, and they go through these pretty fast. I try and get them to only eat them for snacks at school, but we also take them like if we're going somewhere. So we're in a car snacks, so they go quickly. So 20 of these, this will last us through next week, hopefully, fingers crossed too. So that's my little $80 haul, and I hope that just makes you, realize like we're all real people. All right, I had a friend that got me onto this, and I admit it's not like the healthiest snack, although you're gonna get protein from your cottage cheese. They're so delicious. They do have a little bit of cane sugar in them, but it's less than a gram per serving, so it's not much. But I mean, you're still eating chips, but okay. They're right here. Chip, and you dip it in the cottage cheese. You're gonna think I'm weird, but it's heaven. So good. All right, we're making Big Mac bowls tonight, or Big Mac wraps. So both recipes are up on the app. Jay's opening chips. Both recipes are on the app, but it just depends on what you want to do. So I like having a bowl. The kids like having wraps. So I'm making tortillas. And I'm not showing you the recipe again because I already showed it to you, but I'm also making bigger ones. So these are the burrito sized ones versus the other ones were smaller, more of like a regular tortilla. The burrito size does take a little bit longer to cook. So that's about a minute on each side. But they're like perfect for a wrap versus like a smaller quesadilla or something. And then this is also a little bit of a different recipe. I used some whole wheat flour and some spelt flour, whole wheat organic. So I just wanted to get a little bit more nutrients in there, and I think I like it. So I'll be adding that to the app as well. So we'll have the burrito size spelt. You can also make smaller, and just the regular all-purpose flour tortillas as well. And for seasoning this meat, I'm just using the steakhouse seasoning that we like, but you can use anything that you prefer to season your burgers with. I want to talk to you a little bit about timing too. So this is a cool thing. I made all these dough balls, and I actually have an entire other half of this tortilla dough. But I just made this and I let it sit for 30 minutes. The cool thing about this dough is that you can actually let it sit for up to 4 hours. And I got somewhere to be after dinner. I have a little appointment for Tommy. So I'm using paper towels because I don't have any clean, whatever. Anyway, it's gonna sit, and then when I get back, I can finish all the tortillas, like not a big deal. So that's pretty cool that you can kind of just make them for dinner real quick and then make the rest of them after dinner or in a different situation, different time. Okay, you can find this recipe for Thousand Island or Russian dressing on my website. I'm just gonna do half of it because I know that I don't even think the kids will eat this dressing, and like they'll probably just do ketchup or mayonnaise. But I want it and my husband wants it. Okay. This is the power of clearance, right? This was on sale because it had a broken top, which is a good deal. This ketchup is delicious. I love it. The Primal Kitchen, tad sweet, sweetened with honey. I've had unsweetened sugar before, don't like it, but this is a natural sweetener, so I'm into it. So we're doing half ketchup, half avocado mayo. So it's like quarter cup. Half a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. A tablespoon of sweet relish, or you can do like cut up pickles, that's fine too. A little bit of garlic powder, like a quarter teaspoon. A little bit of onion powder, pepper. We're gonna do a dash of red wine vinegar. See, it looks like Big Mac sauce, isn't that crazy? But you want to taste it. Make sure it's right. Oh, that's so good. That couldn't be better, honestly. And it's fun because once you start making your dressings, I mean, that took me just a couple minutes, right? Not very long. And you start to, know the different ratios, and you can just kind of throw it together. So in the past, I've done this with white or red onion, just depending on what I have. I mean, this isn't like traditional, like it gives you the taste of Big Mac, but it's not necessarily Big Mac. Big Macs don't have tomatoes, although I like them on this. I think I'm the only one, so I'm not cutting up a lot. Same with the onion. My husband will probably have onion. We also want pickles. You gotta watch out the pickles. Some of them have food colorings in them. But these Grillo ones, I mean, they're delicious. So that helps, but they're also really clean. A clean pickle. I just had an amazing subscriber mention that she was gonna grow her own cucumbers to pickle them. Maybe I think it was she. They are gonna grow their own pickles to pickle, our own cucumbers to pickle them this summer because, that's so cheap. That's a great thing to do. I love that idea. And we need cheese, an important part of a Big Mac. So we start with some lettuce, some ground beef in here. All right, we'll put the Big Mac sauce on now. Tommy wants some Big Mac sauce. It's good.
Is it possible you can put the cheese on after you?
Well, it's already cooked and everything, so it shouldn't.
Oh.
You want cheese?
Yeah.
Right.
I thought you were gonna cook it. I thought you were going to cook.
Do you want any tomatoes, onions, or pickles?
Pickles.
Pickles. Okay.
Pickles always make it taste better.
All right. Nice. All right. Roll it up.
Wait, what about the sauce?
I already put some on.
I can't see it.
You want more?
Yeah.
Tommy loves the Big Mac sauce.
Can you mix it around?
Sure. No. Okay.
Dinner yet, right?
Oh, we are at dinner. It's dinner time right now. Yeah. And I want, because you need to, because you're going to be leaving, so. All right. There you go. And if your preference is a burger bowl, I made myself a burger bowl, so I just put lettuce in the bottom. You can do like shreddus if you prefer. I like to use those nice salad greens because they're, I don't know, they're like more hearty, I guess, but traditionally a Big Mac is going to be more shredded iceberg lettuce. Ground beef, pickles, onions, tomatoes, shredded cheese, and then the dressing drizzled over the top. This is like the healthiest way to eat a Big Mac, and it tastes very similar to the restaurant version, and so you get all the flavors without all of the terrible things McDonald's. So we just love it. I make these a ton. You've probably seen them before on my channel, and it is just something that we, cook on repeat over and over. Tommy's gonna give it a rating. He loves it so much.
1 million out of 5.
Wow. Wow, that's crazy, man. The next morning was a simple breakfast. We just had some scrambled eggs, and the kids had some yogurt and jelly.
Yeah.
Ben just had some eggs with ketchup, which I didn't get, but then he also was having a homemade bagel now because I made a ton of them. The original bagels were such a big hit, then I ended up making a double batch and then bringing half to a friend who just had a baby. So it was the perfect little snack for them. Dan's home from work, or he's working at home today. So I'm just gonna make us both lunch. And Tommy had a bagel. Julian's eating at school today. And Ben ate some cottage cheese earlier. And did he have something before he left? He wanted something. I don't remember what it was. Oh, he had an orange. He kind of eats all day, if you haven't noticed. So I'm just gonna cut up a red onion because I don't have a yellow onion. And then even if you don't have an onion in this, you could always do onion powder. But because I have this, I think it'll be good. So I'm gonna start by cooking my onion and my ground chicken. And I used about a tablespoon of ghee. Ghee is nice because it's a high heat, high burn point, or high heat oil, or yeah, it won't burn when you put it in there versus like olive oil cooking this hot has the potential to burn. And I'm always learning and trying to teach, just like share everything that I know. So I just learned this. I mean, I kind of knew, but I didn't like know. So now I'm gonna focus on making sure that I use ghee instead of olive oil in a high heat situation. And I have my printed instructions, so like I can remember how to make it, even though I have made this a million times, I forget. I'm gonna add a couple of cloves of garlic, and if you don't have fresh, you can always use garlic powder. All right, that's cooked. So let's add in our cabbage. I oftentimes just like to buy the big bags of slaw. But they didn't have any. I was ordered through Instacart. This is what they brought me. So we're using fresh. Takes a little bit of extra time, but just to slice it. So we're just gonna be cooking this down too, and then I'm gonna add in the sauce ingredients. I'm gonna do 2 teaspoons of honey. You could also do coconut sugar. A couple of teaspoons of sesame oil, I guess whatever I have left. Not that much. I always just keep my ginger in the freezer. I actually do need to get some more. But it makes it super easy just to grate in. You can also use ground ginger. You could also grate in a carrot to this, or like I said, use the mix that'll include carrots usually, and then maybe some red cabbage, because the color in this is kind of like, okay, bland. And then we're gonna do about a half a cup, maybe a third a cup of soy sauce. We can add more to taste after, so I always just like go in and pour some on mine. I put some rice with it. Put some, I like chili crunch. This chili crunch from Momofuku is so good. And that's not, that's not a perfect topping. It's got sesame seed oil, which I just put some in. I don't really know much about sesame seed oil. So like I said, we're learning together, so I need to look that up and figure out if that's something I want to try to avoid, something I want to keep in my life because I just really enjoy it. It's nothing, not everything to be perfect. It's not all or nothing. It's just trying our best I know our bodies are not designed to like just completely be inundated with these things every day. So the more we can work on that, the better. So a lot of times I serve this over rice, but I'm just gonna I have all this leftover brown rice. I'm just gonna put it right in, and that will just bulk this up perfectly and make an amazing lunch for us, not just today, but this is, you know, I could feed this to my family for dinner, but instead we're just gonna do this for lunches for a few days. And in this case, like soy sauce to taste, because with the rice, it's gonna soak up a lot of flavor. Or coconut aminos, did I say that? Coconut aminos are a great option too. This is another one of our family favorites. I make it often for dinner or for lunches. It's a great meal prep for lunches. And so this served us for lunch that day and then lunch also the next day. And we love to serve it with a little bit of extra soy sauce if you like. And then I like the chili crunch from Momofuku. It is an amazing topping. So these are just fabulous. And I made myself some dates with peanut butter and chocolate. So good. So we're gonna have the avocado caprese salad with chicken tonight. I'm just gonna marinate these chicken thighs for a little bit. I've got 2 tablespoons of balsamic, 3 tablespoons of olive oil, salt, pepper, and garlic powder. I'm just gonna add these right in here. A lot of times I like to use bags to do this, but I'm out and I'm also reconsidering, like, should I be putting that in glass? So many things going through my mind. You can do this the night before. I'm just doing it a few hours before. And usually I would grill these, but it is a windstorm outside. Maybe you can hear that. It's wild. Some of the buses aren't even running because there's down power lines. It is crazy. So I think I'm gonna air fry these. I've always had really good luck air frying chicken thighs like this. So you can marinate these up to 24 hours. And then when you're ready to cook, I have one of those bigger like toaster oven size air fryers. I've had it for 5 years now and it's been incredible for us. We've really, really liked it. And I will link that in my Amazon store down below. It's really nice because it can fit all of the chicken, but if you have a smaller air fryer, you can just do it in batches too. And so you just want to spray down that basket, and then we're going to cook this at 380 degrees for 12 minutes and then flip it over and cook it for another 6 to 8 minutes. With chicken, you always want to make sure that it gets to that 165 degrees total temperature to make sure that it is fully cooked through. But the nice thing about the boneless, skinless thighs is they really don't take too long and they cook through and they're still very, very juicy. And then for the salad, I just sliced up a couple of avocados. This time of year, I find that avocados are always on sale, and they're another one where they have that nice hard shell on the outside, so you don't have to buy them organic, so they end up being pretty cheap and really an excellent source of nutrition. And then I just sliced up a few basil leaves. I don't know if you have a secret solution to this, but if I'm not buying a basil plant or have one like on my counter, when I buy the packages of basil, they always go bad so quick. Like this is all I had left from the basil that I purchased and I hadn't used it for anything. I was just waiting to use it for the salad. So maybe you have a better option. And then tomatoes. These are like the little grape tomatoes. I sliced these in half. I didn't put a ton on the salad because I'm the only one that really eats them in my family. Actually, me and Julian do. But this is the amazing thing about a salad is like it's make your own. Like figure out what you like and then put that on there. And then I had these greens. I just used the leftovers from what I had there. And then another box that I actually got on clearance for 99 cents. And you're going to see these greens are beautiful. So do not discount produce because it can be quite amazing. Like this is a gorgeous box of organic spring mix. And it was just 99 cents. And it makes an amazing salad. And it's amazing nutrition for our family. And then on there, I just placed some little mozzarella balls. They're called like Klingene, C-L-I-N-G-N-E. I'm probably not saying it right. I have yet to find like a grass-fed version of this. So if you may know a brand, let me know. And then the tomatoes, and then I like to put the avocados kind of around on the side. Oh, and there's the basil on there too. So just sprinkle that on. And then once that chicken comes out, just slice it up and put it on top. I think I showed you a second ago there, the dressing. That is a black garlic dressing got from a local farm. My aunt gave it to me, and it's an amazing flavor. And if you look at the ingredients, they're actually very clean, so I loved using it. And then my kids actually don't like balsamic, which seems crazy to me on a caprese salad, but they ended up going with a homemade ranch that I made.
and it worked out really well. So we just really enjoyed this, and this was a really wonderful meal for the family, something for everybody. Almost forgot to mention, this is also a really great one for Easter or Mother's Day. It's an amazing salad to serve at an event. And this kind of concludes our meals. This is what we had for breakfast the next morning. And everything that is in this video, all the recipes are in the app down in the description box. It's just $1.98 a month or $19.99 for the year. And you're going to get the entire meal plan that goes along with this. There's a pinto bean soup that I didn't even get to, but I'll put that on the meal plan as an option because it's absolutely delicious and we love it. And then you're going to find a lot of other ways to meal plan and shop within the app. So there's lots of opportunity, and I just know you're going to love it. I'll see you in the next video.